thank you again for joining me on my finally third reaction video to Star Trek the original series. So before I begin, I want to let you know something really cool. So I'm visiting my parents. I'm not in the same place, as you can see. I'm in their house, and while I was checking all the books, I found three beauties that I thought it was worth showing you. They are really old. I have no idea how old they are, but I found these three books that belong to my father. These are really old storybooks. This is the one about the Tribbles. I have no idea which one is it. The names are in Spanish, so I have no idea to what episode they belong to. I haven't really looked into them yet because I don't want to spoil myself. And now I just remember that I actually never saw the episode about the Tribbles. I thought I'd seen it. I read it. I actually read it, so I have no idea. But one of the things that I really liked is that the pictures are in great condition. As you can see, it's like a comic book, and it contains really good quality pictures. And probably this is why I remember so much from these episodes. I don't know how old the books are. They are really incredible. I wish I can tell you how old they are. 1979. They were before I was born. I see some of them like Where No Man Has Gone Before, Metamorphosis, Galileo 7. So, I don't know. I just thought, what the heck. Just got these. That was first new. I've received so many comments from you guys that I am actually quite excited. My family's actually quite excited to see so many comments. You've been so kind to me, and I'm really thankful for all of your kind words, your recommendations. Anyway, I'm just so excited to keep doing this because you guys like it. I like it. So I think that's a very good agreement. So about the other episodes that I will be watching for this first season. I don't know how to choose the remaining episodes for this first season. So I wish I could make a poll where everyone could vote, but unfortunately I don't have 10,000 subscribers yet. So I cannot make that one. Because of your suggestions, I have finally picked the next series that I will be reacting to. I will be reacting to The Twilight Zone from the 60s. I already picked the 10 episodes that I will be watching. I'll explain how I chose those when I start that series. So just keep that in mind. Today's snack is spicy trail mix. It's ready here. Robin and Flash they are both sleeping downstairs, so probably this will be an episode of much sci-fi, but no dogs. Anyway, so let's get this thing started.
Certain you don't know what irritation is? In fact, one of my ancestors
There's a civilian back there.
Having bad blood like that.
Two civilians.
Briefing lounge. Material are ready, sir. Bring it aboard.
Oh, look, that's Scotty. I do remember him.
Jones?
Name's Smith, sir.
Smith is pretty.
I heard that's more your specialty, Commander. Line
Ooh.
Repeated urgent requests for information from the ship's computer records for anything concerning ESP in human beings.
ESP?
Extrasensory
Oh.
perception.
Ooh, the eyes.
Our overriding question now is, what destroyed the Valiant?
My question will be, how do I get back home? Fast reader.
I only want conscious for a while. You fool, pseudo special, I get.
You're gonna be doping him every 5 seconds? Oop. And I think now he's pissed.
Station seems to be running fine.
You're a talented thief, Kelso. Everything you set up seems to
Oh,
be
no.
in place.
I'm kind of proud. proud of the job we've done.
Oh, no, no, no,
Are we
no, no,
ever
no,
ready to
no.
transform them? You're leading with the ship, Doctor.
He is not evil.
I gave you an order, Doctor.
And she's still saying he's not bad. Oh, he could have done that all this time. Oh. It's insane. I don't understand. Is that a contact lens? Because it looks fantastic in my opinion, but it just looks so like weird. Ooh, that's nice. But why did she get through the change so much later than Mitchell? I don't understand. Is he turning old?
You'll soon share this feeling, Elizabeth.
He's got gray.
Hang on to being a human for 1 minute longer.
I'm disappointed in you, Elizabeth.
Oh my god. But, okay. Of course you did. Okay. Clever. I like that.
Captain's log. Stardate 1313.8.
He got lucky,
Add to
just
official
a
losses.
strain hand.
Dr. Elizabeth Dana. You didn't ask for what happened.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack again. So when I did the recording while I was reacting, it was a very, very bad day. The battery on my camera ran out halfway the episode, and then the battery on the light, and then again. So I decided to do the commentary for another day, and today is the day. So, things that I need to comment about this episode. To begin with, I understand this is the first episode made with the new cast. I didn't see Dr. McCoy, I saw another doctor, and I didn't see Lieutenant Uhura, I didn't see the basket lady, but I did see Scotty. And then I wonder, why didn't Scotty appear on the Man Trap and on Charlie X? Because, by the way, I already watched Charlie X. So, things that I didn't like. I think the problem of not wanting to kill someone because that someone was an old acquaintance or a very close friend. It's repeated again in the Man Trap, and it was repeated now here in Where No Man Has Gone Before. McCoy didn't want to shoot the Mrs. Craven, and in this case, Kirk didn't want to kill Gary. Now, while I was watching, my head was going like, you're doing the exact same thing McCoy did, right? But then Kirk goes into this heroic frenzy and goes chasing Dr. Denner and Gary and, you know, sacrificing himself in order to make sure everybody else could leave and these guys wouldn't stop them from leaving the planet. One thing that I'm really not clear, probably they did mention it, but as I saw the episode twice and I never realized why Dr. Denner didn't get her powers as soon as Gary did. Plus, she gets shocked first, at least in the sequence, she gets shocked first and then he gets shocked. He becomes much more powerful than she did. And I didn't see a really coherent explanation as to why she didn't get her powers until they were down on the planet and Gary was strong enough to immobilize and kill people by just wishing it. I didn't like Kelso dying. That was like, why did they have to kill Kelso? I didn't like that one. I liked Sulu's character a lot. Even though we didn't get to see Sulu that much in this episode, I like the idea that he gets all the math going in there. I hope I get to see more of Sulu in this mathematical thing. I'm not really sure of what does he do. I mean, I've seen him on the control panel, but I'm not really sure about what does Sulu do. I remember this really pretty blonde girl, Smith. I think her name is. She was holding Gary's hand. I hope to see her more often. She's a very pretty girl. But I also hope to see Scotty a lot more because I loved, even though he has like probably 7 lines in the entire episode, he is the salt that this episode needed, definitely. I see that the uniforms are very similar to the uniforms used in The Cage and hence different from the ones used in the Man Trap. I understand this was made before and this was the real pilot, so I understand that the uniforms did change. I love the action sequence. Yes, I understand these are less actiony than today's standards. It was just heroic to roll on the floor. Now we get to see a little more complex choreographies in that. But that was okay. I mean, I laughed, but okay, that was the action back then. It's entertaining in the end. I like the way that they ended this kind of episode. Instead of trying to attack Gary with the weapon, just like they did in The Cage, they tried to attack this door and they couldn't do it. So they had to come up with another plan, like going from within. In this case, Kirk shot at Gary, couldn't do any harm to the man, so now he gets the big stone to fall on him. I think this kind of intelligence is very characteristic of Kirk as far as I know, so I'm really happy that they decided to go that way. I didn't like the fact that Dr. Denner died in this duel against Gary. I think she deserved a little more than that, even though her character becomes a little bit obnoxious by trying to defend the guy who has shown no signs whatsoever of being a good person after he gets this ESP thing going. So this becomes a little bit obnoxious. And also, it kind of bothered me from Kirk because Spock told him you have to kill him. Gary himself told him you have to kill me, and yet he didn't do it. So I wasn't really that... I understand this is like the problem, the real core problem on the episode, but since we already saw that from McCoy, it kind of becomes repetitive at this point. I think what happened with Charlie X it's even the same thing. Like, they have to get rid of Charlie. And by the way, in the beginning of Charlie X episode, those 2 guys who get into the ship and bring Charlie X along and leave him in the ship, assholes. But yet, when Charlie is in the ship, you kind of feel sorry for the guy because he really doesn't know how to behave, and people is really buying the story that the kid didn't have anyone to guide him, and then he's got something else going on. So again, this idea of not getting rid of the person that they obviously need to get rid of has been repeated in The Man Trap, Charlie X, and now Where No Man Has Gone Before. I've seen it in 3 episodes. I hope this changes. I really hope it does, because otherwise I'm gonna get pissed. I think since this is the first episode that was made with this cast, there isn't yet that much chemistry going in between the characters. I understand that the chemistry was great back in the day, but I think this is not achieved yet. I'll give it more time. One of my favorite parts was the Oasis. I don't know, I think it reminds me of childhood memories, probably. That was one of my favorite parts, even though I laughed hard where Dr. Denner is pretending to bite a fruit and she actually turns her back and we see a very nice shot of her back zipper, but she's really getting rid of the fruit and she comes back with nothing on her hands. That was something I needed to laugh hard at. I think that the episode, from the beginning to the end, has a very coherent and a very logic sequence, and I really enjoy that. Some parts become really exciting, like when Gary kills Kelso, the whole pursuit of Kirk behind Dr. Denner and Gary, the confrontation, and the ending happens to be like the very nice cherry on top of this episode, where you see Kirk being compassionate. Even though he's not really honest, you really can't blame him for doing this. What he said at the end, like they didn't ask for this, is actually quite true. And seeing this, rule bending from Kirk, that's actually quite nice. I think that the planet design, like it's barren and there's only this station. I love the matte painting so far. I like them all. I think the one that I really didn't like that much was the planet where Dr. Craven and Mrs. Craven back in the man trap. That planet, really, I didn't really like that. But these last matte paintings have been great. I hope to see more of those. One of the things that really caught my eye was this greenish tint that Mr. Spock has all over his face. I think that's a very nice thing, but I don't remember to see it that green in the man trap and in Charlie X. Probably it was, but I wasn't paying attention. You tell me. And another thing, I saw civilians again back in the ship. Is this an ordinary thing? Please let me know. So in order to choose the next episodes of this first season, please make sure you leave your suggestions in the comment box below. I will be looking at every single comment you give me. I will make sort of a voting system. If you mention enough episodes and I get the same episodes being mentioned over and over, I will definitely watch those. Please remember, I am only looking for the first season, and when I'm finished, I'll move to the second. Well, that was it for today. I hope I get a much better video. That was a very chaotic day to do the reaction, and I hope I get better. If you hear a lot of noise here, it's because I'm in a small town and there are a lot of birds and roosters and dogs all over, so I'm sorry, but I'll try to keep the noise down. So that was it for today. Thank you again for joining me on now my 4th episode of Star Trek, which I am loving, by the way. Don't forget to subscribe. Let your friends know because I need more subscribers. And thank you again for joining me. God bless and see you the next time. Bye-bye.